Hey, what's up, gang? Beautiful day here in New Jersey. I'm just heading back from an awesome meeting I had with one of my former students, another strength entrepreneur, friend of mine, Dave Segro. Dave's the strength coach at Secaucus High School. He's also the soccer coach there. He was a student of mine at Montclair State, and he was a straight A student when he was a kid. He's a great guy, and he's got his own training business, plus, the teaching and coaching at the school. So he's really, doing it as a strength entrepreneur and trying to build his brand, build his business. So Dave's been asking me to come down for quite some time and help him kind of formulate a better plan and system for funneling his, students and athletes through their new weight room and, utilizing some of the equipment. Unfortunately, they built this big, beautiful weight room with a new basketball pavilion and things like that, but they have not upgraded the equipment too much. So, you're still working on a very low budget funding for weight rooms in a lot of schools here in the Northeast, unless you're a private school, is pretty minimal. And because if you're a public school, you have to kind of cover all bases. So you can't just, build a room for the football team. It has to be for everybody. So there has to be stuff that everybody can do. So had a great meeting. Talked about, creating a culture, making the weight room a fun place, a destination for kids that want to come train. So getting it swagged out with stuff that you would see in like a college weight room. Play like a champion today, record boards, gym standards, maybe a weight training club. So like, a 500, a 750, 1,000-pound club. I talked to them about getting some, there's a lot of things you can do. If you're a small gym, or you're a weight coach at a high school or a parochial school and you're underfunded, you could do a ton with a couple dollars, so you can get tires for nothing from lots of places. You can get big tractor tires, you can get a couple sledgehammers, you can get some sleds, some ropes, and sandbags that you can make yourself. Or Iron Mine sells probably the best sandbags on the market, and they're really not that expensive. All you need is sand and the bags, and you could make yourself, a couple dozen things. And the work that you can do with sandbags, sleds, a few kettlebells, some ropes, and they got plenty of barbells and stuff down there, is pretty much endless. You don't have to outthink yourself, and you don't have to have rows of hammer strength equipment and all sorts of, power lifts type stuff, stuff that cost, huge money, like you would see at like Notre Dame or Tennessee. These teams have, literally millions and millions of dollars a year in football budgets. So you have to be creative. So I think the number one thing for young athletes is creating a mindset, creating a culture, creating a a buy-in to be part of something. And most kids are looking to find, they're trying to find their own identities. They're trying to find their own place amongst their peers. So building a team spirit, building a school spirit, building a culture and a want to work harder in the weight room through whether it's, record boards, special t-shirts for kids who hit PRs and things like that. Those little things go really far with 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and look, they're doing it all the way up to 20-something-year-olds at the collegiate level. Every college program has a record board. Every college program has a special shirt, or whether it's a trophy or something that goes, or a necklace. Some schools do like a little barbell that goes to the top lifter of the week or things like that. Or someone who breaks a school record, you get some cool plaque or something like that. So there are a lot of ways to create culture and buy-in in your weight room, and that don't require you to go out and spend $100,000 on new gym equipment. And so we talked a lot about that, and I want to talk a little bit about giving back. I think for myself, when I started, and I've talked about this before, when I started, I was selfish, and I only thought about me, my business, and my own person and my own growth and development as a coach. And I forgot that the number one thing that a coach has is impact. And the impact that I have on my clients and athletes over the years And as a coach, in a sense, as a teacher, as a professor at Montclair State, basically a coach in a different way. I'm coaching textbook education instead of strength and conditioning. And the impact that you have on people goes far. And the examples are very near to me because I have an entire gym full of students that were students of mine who are now full-time employees. Dave not being one of my employees, but we've maintained our friendship for nearly a decade. We've, kept in contact. He's been trying to get me down to Secaucus for 2 years, so I'm sorry it took this long, Dave. But work is crazy, but I've always maintained a great relationship with the students that showed a huge interest in strength and conditioning or fitness or entrepreneurship, whatever they wanted. They always emailed me or asked me questions. I always made myself available because I knew that, that connection, that impact that I had would have long-lasting effects on their lives, and they will remember me for how I made them felt. And I made them feel important. I made them feel like they mattered, and I made them feel like that their time was worth my time, and that's super, super important. So Dave was one of my earlier students and one of the first students who showed a true and honest passion for strength and conditioning, and a love for sports and a love for coaching, and he's doing all of those things now. I had Big Mike was, one of my top students, a straight A student at Montclair, a straight A student in my classes, and now he's our head strength and conditioning coach, and one of the absolute most, I think Mike is one of the best strength coaches in the country that nobody knows about. We had Nick Mercune worked for me for a bunch of years. Nick's a cop. He has a family. He's got a kid. We still keep in contact. He's still a friend, and I still feel like, there's a brotherhood there. And, if Nick had wanted to stay in strength and conditioning, we would have loved to have had him with us forever. Sean, Joey, Simone, Adam, all Montclair alums. And, I go out of my way to give back to the people and places that have helped forge my future, my life, and allow me the success that I have now. I would be nowhere without those people and those places. I went to I did my master's I graduated. I finished my undergrad at Montclair, and I graduated with my master's degree from Montclair. And the university has been incredibly gracious to me over the years, providing me with employment, but providing me with a platform to help educate and inspire other people, allowing me to create an amazing internship and cooperative education program with them, allowing me to utilize their facilities whenever I want to. I have access to top level students and educators at all levels, and my repayment to them is rewarding the kids who graduate with their own employment, and giving them opportunities and helping them improve their own lives and their own career opportunities and such through our internships, through our hiring programs and stuff like that at Varsity House. So today reminds me a lot of when I was younger and I was getting started, and I didn't have a lot of help, and I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't have somebody that I could, in a sense, hang my hat on and say that guy was the guy who showed me the way, and I had to kind of figure it out for myself. And that created like a little chip on my shoulder to want to make sure that I consistently and constantly give back to the people who've helped me and who have been that I've had an impact on. So remember to give back. Remember to spend a lot of time connecting with people, fostering relationships, and making people feel important. And you will reap the rewards in more ways that I can ever sit here and explain to you, in any type of sales marketing situation, right? Connections are the key, relationships are the key, and making people feel important is going to get you far more than any amazing marketing plan or system is going to get you. So impact, give back, do the best you can to give back to the people who look up to you, and keep working hard, everybody. Take care.